Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I can't remember who said this, but it doesn't really matter who said it. It's the meaning of the saying. And it says to learn who rules over you, you simply have to look at who you cannot criticize. That means obviously if you want to see who has power over you, you just criticize someone. And then, depending on the consequences, you realize how much power that person has. And then you're not going to criticize because you're going to be afraid of the consequences. So if someone has no power and no desire to hurt you, then you can talk about that person. That means he's not ruling over you, or he's ruling but it's just not showing it somehow. But the cases are minimal. In this case, I have Kanye West, and Kanye West is that rapper that I didn't really care about, but I think he made some comments that a lot of people, felt that they have to act in a certain way. The problem is Kanye West, known as Ye now, he's a billionaire. He was a billionaire. And he started criticizing a certain kind of group. And now, allegedly, he lost, since he started criticizing that group, he made some tweets. And he said certain things in an interview with Tucker. He lost $1.5 billion in 2 weeks. He lost because he lost business. Certain companies stopped doing business with him because the comments he made. The comments were not addressed to the companies, but the ones that you can criticize went around and influenced those companies not to do business with Kanye West. Now, Kanye West said that this particular group has a lot of influence in the sphere of certain kind of, show business and arts and fashion, Hollywood, and so on. And he lost business in kind of those areas because certain people from that group were capable of having those companies stop doing business with Kanye West. So what would that prove? Because remember, if I would say, okay, I start criticizing or even being, the word doesn't even exist, anti-Romanian, or anti-French, or anti-Russian. As you know, you can call the Russians now however you want. It's open season for abuse of any kind, it seems. And it's only one group that you can't even talk about or criticize, because if you criticize, it's immediately called in a certain way. Anti-this, anti-that, even if it's a criticism. And then you say, wait a minute, why is everybody so, yes sir, all of a sudden? JP Morgan is not doing business with Kanye West. Gap is not doing. Adidas. Adidas is understandable because Adidas is a German company. And poor guys cannot move a finger or even utter a word less than extraordinary words addressed to the guys who make them drop millions of dollars in business with Kanye West. So what I'm trying to say, and these are not the only companies that do not do business with him. He was dropped from this, he was dropped from that. And it's very strange that if that would have happened, the connection is this. The guy made some comments, okay, addressed a certain group. And that group right now are going to destroy him. I mean, it's however you want to take it. They try to destroy him. They try to invite him to the Holocaust Museum in Los Angeles to educate him. Things like this, try to educate Kanye West. And if he's going to do that, then he's going to be another example for us, the rest of us, that you really can't criticize certain kind of people or certain kind of groups at all. Even if it's, how should I put it, legitimate. And I think that by acting this way, this little group or whatever, and trying to destroy this guy, Kanye West, to just show that maybe Kanye West has a point. And I know that victims should be, that's how we're told, they're somehow more empathetic and sympathetic toward other people because they've been in that situation and they see things more moderate and more, tolerant. But there's contradictions because a victim, they say here in the United States, that a victim, usually if you're a victim, you cannot have really power because you're not a victim anymore. Or it seems that these victims have a lot of power to take on this guy who will be turned from a popular guy to a hated guy because of some comments made on some subject that nobody should really care. Okay, he said, okay, so he made a stupid comment. Okay, I'm going to destroy him? I want to do a Purim on him? Is that what we're going to do now? Or we're going to do a Nuremberg trial now on Kanye West? Which one is going to be? Are we going to do maybe an Eichmann trial? I mean, and what's not strange, another point that I think Kanye West can make is that his community that 2 minutes ago, 2 weeks ago, loved this guy, all of a sudden they look at him like he's a corpse, not to touch. Why? It's just because they are so moral, which are all fucked ups if it's really to talk about this. They are so moral. Why am I fucked ups? Because they're all fucked up somewhere. That's why. They're not pure or they're not moral. All of a sudden they show so much indignation for a fellow black person, African American, however you want me to call him. You know what I mean. So his community throw him to the dogs to be eaten. Why? Is it because the same dogs are in control of them? And if they dare to defend Kanye West in any way, they're gonna have Kanye West's faith. That's what they think. So that again might make a point, again, for Kanye West. That whatever he said, maybe to a certain extent, could be appropriate or not appropriate, but true. Because look at the reaction. This article I have here is, I'm just going to read a few words only. This article comes from, see where it's at, Yahoo. And it says Kanye West lost $1.5 billion in a matter of weeks and is no longer a billionaire. Let's applaud everybody, right? And it says here that Kanye West has talked himself out of more than 1.5 billion according to Forbes. Now if Kanye West would have said, all Romanians are idiots and all Romanians are fuck-ups with this, do you think that anything like this would have happened to him? A lot of Romanians died in many wars and in many circumstances. Okay? Millions. Now, do you think that anything would happen to him? And if yes, I don't believe that. You know the answer. You know. So he was dropped from Adidas, JP Morgan. Oh my God, he wore that White Lives Matter apparel. You can't do that. So, anyway, people are suing him. It says here that Forbes estimates that the Adidas partnership was worth about $1.5 billion. He said his current net worth is now thought to be around $400 million. So, if you have this much power, you can't be really a victim, because if you're a victim, you can't hurt someone just like that. You're obviously not a victim. And politically, economically, or financially, you're not a victim whatsoever. But anyway, just an observation that even his people, if this would have been done by, I don't know, let's say he would have insulted or he would have said something about, let's say, Italian Americans. And Italian American groups would have this power to do and talk all these companies, because these companies not do that because it stands against our values. Really? If that would be about Romanian or Italians, you wouldn't give a fuck. So stop pretending here. If that would have happened from the attacks of Romanian groups to Kanye West, do you think that all the Al Sharpton and all those professional schemers will show up to defend Kanye West as, oh my God, systemic racism is good and alive in our country. Oh my God. And guess who would support them? The same guy who are taking care of Kanye West right now. Just look who was Martin Luther King's, one of them, most important actually, speechwriter, one of them. Look who were his lawyers, attorneys. I mean, please, they helped one another because they were all victims. Really? Look at this, what happens here. So don't touch some people with a flower, because that's gonna hurt them. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.